Hello beauties, welcome. I'm Stephanie Soulseeker, and I want to talk to you today about manifesting because it is one of my most passionate topics. I love it. Manifesting is so fun, and once you get the hang of it and you start understanding that you are actually co-creating your reality and your world, and you start being able to put those visions and dreams out there and then see what comes and how it comes, and it's really fun. It's really fun, you guys. And I know in the beginning it can feel a little bit like overwhelming or potentially hard. I know I see a lot of you talking about manifesting and being like, I'm manifesting, it's just not quite working, like I don't understand. And I used to be there, and now I really have tweaked the resonance of it to a point where I'm very confident in the steps to manifesting my dreams. And I have done it with my relationship. I've done it with money. I have done it with businesses. I've done it with locations. For example, right now, I am here in a beautiful home in Baja, Mexico, in the sunshine. I have my own beautiful mermaid room. I have singing bowls and all my creativity around me. I get to be in nature and watch the birds and the ocean and swim in the ocean, and I have a rooftop bathtub, and I live here with my wonderful soulmate partner, and I trust that money's flowing in no matter what the outside circumstances may be at the time. And it's a very different life from where I was a few years ago. And when I actually started to understand these manifesting tools. And so what I want to really convey to you guys today is that the manifesting process is the same. So I use the same process that I use to manifest my dream jobs, my career changes, my love relationship, money, all of those things. I did the exact same thing. And I started smaller because it's easier to start smaller, especially with money. A few years ago, about 4 years ago, I was working really hard still, sort of in the system, you could say. I was managing a hotel restaurant, and I'd be managing their in-room dining, the restaurant, and banquets, like all at the same time. I'd be running 3 departments. I'd have a cell phone, a walkie-talkie, a pager, and I would be getting called from place to place. I'd be working, 9, 10, 11-hour days sometimes. And on salary, which honestly, at the time I was like, ooh, I'm gonna be on salary, but it really wasn't that great. And it wasn't very much money, and I was exhausted and grumpy, and it was not fun times. And so I really decided at that point, I really wanted to change my life. And I understood manifesting. I'd done it a lot for certain things, but I didn't really understand how to do it consistently. And I didn't understand how to do it with money, and at that point with relationships, in the way that I really wanted to. And so I learned, you guys. I learned, and there were certain moments, like certain, light bulb aha moments for me that really made a difference. And around money, once I got that extra piece in the manifesting process that for myself I feel like I had maybe been missing or didn't totally understand, and I'll talk about that in a second. But once I did that, I was able to then incrementally prove to myself, because we do still have a human mind, we do want to see results, right, in whatever we're doing, that it's working. Even if it's inner work, we want to see that it's making a difference, that we see that we're reacting differently to situations, or we're feeling differently, because that really is where it starts to get juicy, right? And it's encouraging. I mean, we all want to see that we're making strides. And so with money, I first manifested a lump sum of about, I think it was like $3,000 that I needed at the time. So I nailed this process down and I manifested that. Then I decided I would go a little bit bigger and I manifested $5,000, like an exact amount, $5,000. And part of when I was doing this, to me, because I like to make it a little extra challenging sometimes, I wanted to get this money without doing anything. So like zero efforting. So this wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take on this extra work project and try and manifest $5,000. No, I was like, I wanna manifest this $5,000 without doing anything, just being myself. And I was able to do that and literally got a check for exactly $5,000. Then I decided, holy shit, that worked. I want to do that again. Let's go a little bigger. So then I did it for $20,000 and same thing, an exact amount. Again, without doing anything. I mean, doing the manifest process, but without efforting. Yes, without efforting. Because you guys, efforting, that's old school. We don't have to do that anymore, not in the same way. And the way things that are changing now, the new paradigms that are coming out are not going to be asking us to do that. There's so many of us here right now that are starting to understand that we are creators. And there's a big difference in the amount of energy it takes to create something and to push something. So when we can actually just get in alignment with the universal flow and be part of that flow, things just come. The abundance just comes. Things just flow. It doesn't require efforting, which it does when you're trying to push against things and you're trying to make things happen. So I don't know if you guys pay attention to Hicks at all. If you don't, I highly recommend Abraham Hicks. That was a lot of the fundamental pieces that I sort of was able to clarify around manifesting was from their work, and continues to. I follow them. I mean, it's not something that ends, right? It's a continual process. It's something you're always learning more about and just getting to the next level of, and the next level of, and the next level of. Like at that time when I manifested the $5,000, that was a lot of money. Like that was really a lot of money. That was more than I made in a month before taxes. Like it would take me like 3 months to make that. Like, and to make it without doing anything was, at that point, seemed like a really big jump, right? Now it doesn't. Now it doesn't seem like a big jump to me at all. Now I understand that I'm worthy, and that just by being, I am worthy. And just by being, all of the things that I need and want will come. And the reason I have dreams, the reason I have those dreams is because those things are like little seeds that are implanted, because that's follows my life purpose. And you are the same. So if you have a dream for something, it's there for a reason. So that dream, like, oh God, that's one of the most heartbreaking things I think we do to ourselves still, is that we like look at our dreams and then we think, oh, but that's not possible. That's just me being, silly or whatever. And we disregard those things. But no, you guys, like if you have dreams, they're there for a reason. And your dreams, it's literally those dreams and those desires that are going to pull you forward into creating, into becoming a creator, becoming someone that lives in flow and can actually enjoy life, right? And it's pretty challenging to enjoy life when you're worrying about, all of your basic needs. It's just not possible. And so I really want you guys to understand the principles and the basic pieces of how to manifest your dreams so that you're able to do so. Because I think the more and more of us that are able to manifest our dreams and get into our true purpose, and each of us become divinely connected, each of us be shining as our true selves, that is when the whole world is, I believe, going to come into harmony, right? It's like if we're playing the guitar strings and each one of us is a different string, and the second mine gets tuned and is in harmony, it creates a very different sound than when it's super skewed and off. And when all of the strings are in harmony, It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful harmonic sound, music, okay? I don't know what to call it. But I do know that your dreams are important and that they are going to be what gets you there. And so what I want to do is help you manifest your dreams, help you learn the process of manifesting, help you learn how to work with your human side, so your brain, your biology, your DNA, all the things that your inner child, all of the components and pieces that have made up your personality up till now. And I want you to also have the tools that are beyond your personality, the tools and the gifts and the energy and the frequency of that which is higher than that, which is bigger than that, which is more evolved than that. And I found for myself that it was one thing to understand or hear someone say, for example, unconditional love. Years ago, I really didn't know what that meant. I could say those words and I could say, oh, I want unconditional love and I want somebody to just unconditionally love me. And I could even say I unconditionally love myself. But the truth was that I still had patterns running in my subconscious that were saying things like, you suck, I hate myself, etc. I don't want to go too far down that road. And it was very painful. And, that impetus, that inner conflict, depression and anxiety is really what motivated me to change. And I think that's partly why we have this contrast in our world, is because it shows us where we want to evolve. It shows us where things don't feel good, and how we can move into something that feels more in flow with the universe. The bottom line, you guys, is we're spiritual beings, we're souls here having a human experience. And this human, this physical human, comes with a lot of ancestral patterns, comes with a lot of survival patterns, comes with a lot of our animalistic patterns, and we're also still connected to the greater source, to the universe, to God, whatever the word is that you want to use to call it. And that source is actually where everything comes from. So even those times where you felt like, oh my God, I've met the greatest person and I just feel so much love and they bring this to me. No, you guys, I hate to burst your bubble, but it's not them bringing it to you. It's you allowing that to surface and to come out, and it's you attaching that to that person. But that person is not what's creating that feeling. You are creating that feeling inside, and it's being mirrored in that person. And I'm not saying don't have beautiful, loving relationships. You can. You absolutely can. And you can meet people who are your soul tribe and people who really can love you and do love you and want the best for you. But you're not going to have that happen until you're doing that for yourself. And so it really is our job to do our healing work, to do our shadow work, and to rewrite our beliefs so that we can actually embrace more, so that we can want more, so that we can think of more. I really think that as humanity, we're on a precipice of a massive awakening of consciousness. I think we've just scraped the surface of what we're able to do as humans. I think that there's all kinds of things that we're actually able to do, which we see a few humans here and there be able to do, but in the grand scheme of things, most of us are not able at this point, or don't remember that we're able to at this point. However, I believe that we are starting to remember. And the more that we can go within ourselves and reclaim our innate abilities and powers, the more that we're going to see those things reflected in the world. And part of the reason I'm so passionate about helping you to live your dreams and live your dream life is because I know that the people out there that are yearning for this information are good. They're soul people. These people, when you get money, you're gonna do good with it. you know, not because somebody told you you had to, but because that is who you are. And all of us can live in abundance. All of us can live in prosperity, and all of us deserve it, right? Every single human that's here on this planet at this time has something, has a unique gift, has a unique spark, has dreams. And all of those things are pieces of the greater consciousness. And the more that we're able to love, appreciate, and be curious about one another's differences, because of the color and the diversity and the depth of experience that brings, the more we're going to be able to evolve as a humanity, because all of us have like a different piece, and it's all of us getting in tune and really shining out our individual pieces and sharing that's really going to make things click and really help us create the new world that we're moving into. And yeah, it can be scary. I know it can be really scary. And the more you practice these manifesting techniques, the more you learn how to practice believing in your dreams, the more you learn how to practice getting into a higher vibration, the more you learn what that feels like and are able to resonate with what that feels like, the easier it is to get back there. The more you practice getting back there, the easier it is to stay in that higher vibration. And the easier it is to tell when you're not in it. So, you know, I'm not saying like I don't have bad days, or there aren't times where I feel anxious or I feel depressed or I feel like, what's the point, you know? But that's usually when I'm getting into my mind and my mind stuff, and not when I'm really in tune and in flow. And I have tools to notice that and to get back into flow, because flow, when we talk about flow, that's essentially the universe working through us. It's creativity, it's longing, it's expression, it's evolution, and it's all pouring through us. And you hear that a lot with certain people when they talk about writing their masterpiece book or poem or art or whatever it is, and they say, you know, it wasn't just me, I wasn't the only one in the room. And part of what that means is that it really is a co-creative process. So anything that you're birthing or bringing through you is something that wants to come through from the divine and be expressed into the world. And so the more we're able to really tune in to what it is that our hearts want to express, and the specific keys and vibrations and lessons that our heart has to unlock, the more I think we're going to evolve and better ourselves as a society. So yeah. And I mean, really honestly, it's like, I know what it feels like to live with severe depression and severe anxiety to the point where you're, you know, non-functioning and housebound. I've been there. And I know what it feels like to be in flow and to feel joyful and to feel like you're connected and to be able to express yourself in a way that you feel comes from your heart and can benefit others. And I know how good that feels. And I know how great it feels to have finally overcome that hurdle of feeling like money is controlling my life and feeling like I don't have enough, or being in scarcity or worrying about money. Like, you guys, like, I made a decision about 3 years ago. I literally decided that I was going to feel the way I would feel if I had a ton of money and if I was being appreciated for all my gifts, and if that was my reality. And that's the place I came from, and that is how I created all of the money and prosperity that I have now. That is how I, you know, now have more money in the bank than I've ever had. I have like several businesses, and it's growing. And even with some of those businesses being affected currently by things that are going on in the world, not knowing even if those businesses are necessarily going to survive, that fear isn't there, because I know that the next thing will come. The way that I can express myself or help in a higher way, even more from my heart, will come, and the money will follow. So yeah, anyways, I'm passionate about teaching you guys how to be in flow, about how to tap into your creativity and tune in, because yeah, I want to see what you guys are here to create, and I want to be able to create, and I want to see your creations, and I know that together with all of us being in these higher vibrations, that we're going to be able to see the kind of world that I always dreamt was possible. And I sure hope it happens in my lifetime. Working on it. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them, because I will be checking in. And if there's any topics or anything you really want to hear more about, please let me know. I am working on creating some courses right now to basically teach you how to live your dream life. Yeah, join me. Live your dream life. It's awesome. I want to see what it is. I love you.